The best lawyers aren't found in the big law firms. They're found in the stories of those who left. Hello, listeners and viewers of the Sell Life for Lawyers podcast. I thought a guest from the UK, but he's actually an Aussie and he's back in Australia at the moment. Frank Downs from Juris IT. Frank, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Lofty. Happy to be here.
So let's go back because you started an IT company for lawyers when I was still in diapers. I might have been an advanced child, but I was only between 1 and 2 at the time.
Yeah.
Let's start there. Back then, what made you get into IT and what made you start doing it for lawyers?
Okay, so I went to London after I got my degree in law to do articles. And once I got there, the situation was a little bit different to what I thought. And I ended up falling into the IT business via the Union Bank of Switzerland. So I worked in IT there for a couple of years. And then when I came back to Australia, I just naturally started an IT company. In fact, in the United Kingdom, I helped found a company which was the first company in the world that had a Windows-based email system called Winmail. So I brought that back out to Australia, sold that for several years. Then the fax business took off, communications took off, and basically just followed all of those trends up until the early 2000s, mid 2000s. Then the internet came along, which basically put the knock on fax, and email took off. So we transitioned to that. And then we just started picking up legal clients. So at some point I thought, well, I've got a lot of legal clients now. So I'll just concentrate on dealing with legal clients. And then during COVID, I took myself off back to university, requalified as a lawyer, and then got admitted. So now I'm sort of both lawyer and IT guy.
Yeah. Well, that's what I say. I'm a lawyer. I'm on the roll. I swore my oath. However, I still haven't practiced technically a day as an actual solicitor. I just teach lawyers how to sell. So yeah, was it more a natural? It was just the market you got became lawyers. It wasn't like a targeted, we're going to go for this market.
Yeah, it just transitioned. We picked a lot of lawyers up with fax business because fax, before email came along, they used to send a lot of documents amongst themselves using fax. And then slowly, we picked up a lawyer here, we picked up a lawyer there, then they spoke amongst themselves, and we just started picking up lawyers. And then I thought, well, let's just concentrate here. And that's so it was no plan, all just happy accidents, really.
Yeah, but follow, and that's what the free market's about. You follow where the market demand is, and then weirdly, because you become an expert in that niche, just by virtue of you've got so many clients, you understand their lingo. And so over all those years, because you've sort of seen the .com bubble, then we had the GFC, you've gone through the ups and downs. How have you seen lawyer? One question I did want to ask you specifically, the uptake of technology amongst lawyers. Is it slower than the technology advances, or are they pretty quick to uptake from your experience?
Originally, they were slower. In fact, I used to say to lawyers when we were talking about fax, I'd say, look, you guys have got to join the 19th century. We weren't even talking 20th century at that stage. But I've noticed since that period, the uptake for technology for lawyers has accelerated to the point now you've got a cohort in the legal industry that pretty much jumps on things straight away and starts adopting them, pretty much like the banking and finance industry used to be. So you'd have a group in the banking and finance industry that would be onto any new technology that would give them a trading edge. And lawyers are starting, or several lawyers or law firms are now doing that as well, which is very interesting.
Yeah. To see that turnaround, because it's a slow moving, understandably. Like I get the law itself shouldn't necessarily change too quickly because society can't handle it, but their ability to deliver it should. And that's, I mean, what we're excited about, should get a lot quicker and more affordable ultimately, because speed should and can come more affordability.
Yeah, and the other thing that has happened with technology is the growth of the cloud and the Microsoft 365 ecosystem has allowed individuals, lawyers, to step out of a large practice and practice themselves. It's given them all the tools. You've got your practice management systems now. It's all self-contained, so they can step out and make a go of it if they so desire.
Pretty quickly, yeah, and that's obviously what we're going to talk about. That's why we've got you in. So, over the years, how have you seen security and privacy? How do people handle that? And are lawyers pretty up on it? Or, in my experience, some of the firms are a bit blasé and relaxed about it. However, in this day and age, there's a lot of confidential information. How have you found it? Are they sort of easy to educate, or is it sort of they just outsource to you, just do it, Frank, figure it out for us?
It's a combination of both. It's the old 20/80 rule, Pareto principle. So the majority of lawyers, up until very recently, were pretty complacent, I would say. They just didn't see themselves as being targets. They're under the radar, they're small, that type of thing. And then there's been quite a few high-profile cybersecurity incidents, and we've now seen lawyers now understand that a standard cybersecurity posture is something that they need to have, and they're happy for that to be taken care of by someone else. They just want to get on and practice the law. They're very good technically in a legal sense, and they want to leave the rest of it to someone else. Predominantly, you still get the odd IT tech lawyer, which is normal, but the majority of them just want to leave that to somebody else, and they just want to get on with the job of actually dealing with clients.
Yeah, and that's where you guys step in. So, because you watched the fax come in, you watch email come in, .com, tech, automation. Did you see the AI? I'm going to call it a bubble because I think we're in a bubble right now. It's not going to be, AI isn't going to solve absolutely everything. But did you see that coming just by virtue of how the technologies were progressing?
I've got to say, I'd like to say yes, but I'll have to say no. I saw automation coming. So there was a lot of processes being automated, but that's being coded, and it's hard-coded automation. AI is soft-coded automation, so basically it can take a process and adapt as it's going. So I didn't see that particular part of it. And you're right, there is an AI bubble, but it's like the .com bubble. There'll be a lot of money poured into AI. There'll be a lot of companies that just disappear. But at the other end of it, we'll have a transformed society and a transformed industry. So AI will just slowly work its way up the value chain of positions. So the job of the clerk that used to go and research a whole bunch of things and spend days looking up different things, that's gone. AI can do that now, in a matter of minutes. So that job's gone. And as it slowly over time, it will get smarter and work its way up. But that said, there will always be a place for lawyers because they're capable of original thought. AI is not capable of original thought. It can put a lot of things together, but they've already got to exist.
Yep.
They don't. AI doesn't see big patterns, and that's what we are biologically designed to do, is to see patterns, pattern recognition.
Yeah,
we're the best at. So I see it as a combination.
Yeah. Well, and that's what we're heavily promoting, is to go the best lawyer, niche down, like find your expertise, whether that's target market or area of law or a little bit of both, and then use AI to effectively have an army, an army to serve, to do the research. And I like it because I'm a bit of a David versus Goliath. I love a fight against a Goliath, and I go, well, everyone knows a big company will dump a ton of discovery on a smaller lawyer, knowing they're not going to be able to fight this. But now we go, well, actually, there's a bit of a there's a chance they can, because they can plug it through AI.
Yeah,
and they can do a lot more work.
Yeah, they can basically use AI to summarize and ask AI to go through documents looking for a specific phrase or a specific fact, and then surface that, and then they've got the document which supports whatever it is that they're trying to achieve. So that's so the old school way of inundating the little lawyer with boxes and boxes and boxes of discovery will actually end up reversing the situation, because you just run all that through AI and you've now got chapter and verse of everything and nothing's hidden. So whereas they used to hide it through volume will actually now uncover it.
Yeah. No, and that's what excites me, because I mean, I studied law later, but I watched the John Grisham and read all the John Grisham novels. And I don't know if there's a lawyer who doesn't enjoy the fact when there's a David and Goliath fight.
Yes.
When the little lawyer can find it, and I go, "Oh, this is going to level the playing field like dramatically," which is what excites me. Have you noticed as well? Because I've seen this and because I'm definitely not as versed as you are in the tech. However, I have done a little bit of coding myself just to learn it. And I realized, because of AI becoming so ubiquitous, just talked about, a lot of the stuff people want is actually automation. But I'm like, it seems to have increased the amount people are going, "Oh, can I get this to be automated?" Are lawyers seeing the difference between, hey, this is AI and this is just simple automation, which has been available to you for 10, 15 years already? Have you seen an uptick from that?
Yeah. So what we're seeing is the lawyers say, what can we do with AI? And AI's got them interested, but it's actually, as you say, it's automation, which is really what they need. And that makes that story a lot easier to tell as well. So we say, yes, we can do that, but we don't actually need to use AI. We can just simply create a client intake form, and that gets routed to your email or whatever. And okay, so good, let's do that. So I see a lot of that work starting to become more prevalent, especially with the smarter lawyers. Not when I say smarter lawyers, more smarter from a business operational sense.
Yeah.
So a lot of lawyers, I find, aren't business savvy.
Well, it's by virtue. Simply, the training is not, like, I was in business from a very young age. I studied law at a later age. Not once during the training, which I understand. You're not coming out of law school to open a firm generally. However, even when I got in firms, it's not like there was any formal training. And the practice management courses are good, but again, that's a 3-day course. How much business can you actually distill into that? And a lot of that is on the trust accounting, as it should be, because it's such a responsibility.
Yes.
And I mean, obviously we're filling a gap in the market because we teach the business development side, because again, not formally taught. So the business side,
it's critical.
One of those things.
It's critical now. Yeah.
And
I don't understand why it's not taught.
I have an inkling, because the incentives at the moment, the industry is reliant on the grunt work of the 1 to 5 year admitted lawyers, and the profit flows entirely upwards. And I go, well, why would you? If you're on a good thing, I mean, most business owners, if they're making profit, they're not necessarily going to give away the secrets to go, hey, that 50-year lawyer, if you had your own client base of 10 to 20 people a year, you'd actually make $500,000, have a good life, do it. So I'm just happy to take on the Goliath of the bigger companies to say, why not?
I think the bigger companies should be quite scared, actually, because their billing model is now broken. In fact, actually, I read something just yesterday. The firm that invented the billable hour, and I don't remember the name of it now, but there's a US firm that invented the billable hour. Anthropic has actually engaged them to defend them in the matter against the United States government wanting to throw them off the defence contract. So I think it's quite funny that the firm that invented the billable hour is now defending the firm which is going to destroy it.
Anthropic. That is a full circle. Yeah, and it will, and that's what I look forward to. It's going to change it. for good. I hope.
Well, it's going to give access to. I'm looking at something at the moment, just mucking around with it. One thing in the social law area, you get a lot of small people who need help filling out forms or legal forms, that type of thing, and they can't access a lawyer. But AI would be a great tool for a law firm to set up so that the smaller clients can do most of the work themselves, and then the lawyer just runs an eye over it to make sure everything's right. That's a really good little tool area.
And to make it affordable, because I did a podcast recently with the Finchley guys and Law Connect, who obviously generate leads, and we're talking about the missing middle, which is sort of 70 to 80% of the market. They're not low income enough to get on legal aid.
Yeah,
they're not high income enough to afford $500 to $1,000 an hour lawyer. But they're going, what do I do? And they often self-represent, or they half pay a lawyer, half do it. Yeah, but if we can decrease the cost to access justice, I'm not sure how anyone sees that as a bad thing, except for those who are highly profiting from it at the moment. But even lawyers, I know, they complain when they come up against a self-represented, understandably, because it does make the process take a lot longer than it should. Yeah, because they're effectively trying to distill 5 years into it. So if someone can afford a lawyer, most people would do it. And that's where I go, well, this will speed up the system. Yeah. And ultimately, if you got into it and your oath is to uphold the justice system, that's going to improve the justice system. We should all be swinging for the fences to try and make that happen.
Well, yeah, that is the first duty of a lawyer, isn't it? To the court, not the client. So,
and the administration of it. So, no, that's where I enjoy questioning. Going, is that not? That's the oath I took. Swore it to the king. So I enjoy maybe it's just I enjoy poking the bear a little bit of these big companies.
That's right. Always good to get a reaction from the big guy.
Yeah. So when someone's getting set up, because that's obviously why we're partnering, because we're helping a lot of lawyers get set up, what do they often miss? And what do they sometimes, if they duck down and just pick up the nearest laptop and open it up?
That's the big issue. So they'll nip down to Harvey Norman and they'll buy whatever Jerry's getting a rebate on that week, which is, that's fine. The salesmen at Harvey Norman are instructed to sell that, and that's great. But then they'll ring us up and they'll say, we can't get this to work. And you look at it and they bought the Windows Home version, for example, not the Windows Business version, the Windows Home version. So they start with the wrong hardware straight away. So everything then, they're always a little bit behind the 8 ball from that point. So that's the big bugbear. They invest a lot of money in the wrong equipment to start with, and they never really get in front. So even though 365 is easy to set up, or it appears to be easy to set up, it's still like what you used to have in the big firms. It's the server. You've still got all that IT infrastructure that has to be set up, even though you're a one-person operation.
Yep. And that's where you guys are sort of step in, and that's obviously the package we're putting together is this solo starter package.
Yeah, so basically the lawyer can use that package. We set everything up so that all they have to do is open their laptop, type in their password, and they're ready to practice. They've got all their cybersecurity in place, all their compliances in place, all their technical IT compliances in place. So they meet all of the cybersecurity requirements. Their confidential information is protected. Their practice management system is set up. So they're just ready to go on the right equipment. And that'll take them through for the first 3 years of their practice.
Yep. So it's because that's what I've been, and I guess that's what I was excited when you put together the package, because I was like, I love the idea of like productizing in a business in a box. And like for a lawyer, ultimately in this day and age, put a Starlink, even if you want to travel, put a Starlink on your caravan, have a good laptop. There's your business. Like
that's
fundamental.
That's it. Mobile phone reception, and as you say, a good laptop and communications, and you can practice anywhere.
Yeah.
And that's so what we sell. We sell that ability. And the other thing we sell from that is what I call practice resilience. So it doesn't matter where you practice. if it's a disaster, you just take your laptop with you somewhere else, and you start practicing again. So we got that from the floods as well. So a lot of firms were out of commission for months because of the floods, but the ones that had thought about a little bit of disaster recovery beforehand, which is built into all of our systems automatically, they were up and running, like even while the floodwaters hadn't receded.
Yeah, that is just a simple one. Yeah, when Mother Nature hits, lawyers, the court's still open unless it's absolutely dire. The courts do still need to be open.
Yeah. And we live in a land of disasters. Like there's floods and fires constantly. So if you can make sure that your practice runs, or let's say, for example, especially during COVID, you've got staff members who can't make it into the firm. They can operate from home. So that's all just built in. So the solo lawyer obviously starts by themselves, but at some point they'll put it on an assistant, or they may have someone they want to partner with, or they want to collaborate with or work with. Well, that just assists with that entire process.
Yeah. And so when you guys are, for the term I like to use, the business in a box, open the laptop and take on your clients, are you also incorporating a bit of helping them with like automation and how they'll do the intake, connecting with the whichever practice management software, that sort of thing as well?
So we can assist them with intake forms. Those intake forms then get funneled into the practice management system. We can help them with setting up their precedents in the practice management system, hooking the practice management system into the accounting system, like Xero, for example. So all of that ancillary back office facility, we can do all of that.
Yeah. No,
so
I guess it excites me because it's a big
large firm.
Yeah. Well, it's a big like we've got a startup checklist. It's part of the book. It's the first resource. And I know a lot of people get to, okay, I've got the company, now I've got the practicing certificate, now the tech bit. And that's why I was like, it'd be good to have an answer for that, because it is, even I'm like, I'm not going to tell you what to use and what not to use because security and everything's so important. So yeah, for us, it's great to have someone we can just go, well, here's your options. Here's the startup.
We base it all on Microsoft. And that's quite simply Microsoft. They're used by 90% of the lawyers around the world. And in terms of security, they're going to see a problem before anybody else. And they're going to have a solution to it before anybody else. So you're using the best shield you can. That's how we look at it.
Yeah. And so you guys obviously have a good deal in with Microsoft, so you can put together this full package to make it a sweetheart deal.
Yeah. So Microsoft Surface, Microsoft 365, screens, docking station, keyboards, and you're ready to go. So all you need to do is come up with your the name of your practice. We register the domain name as well, set up all your email, and off you go.
Sweet. Now I've got two more questions. One of them's selfish and one of them's curiosity. Why partner with the Self-Employed Lawyers League? That's my first one.
Because you're targeting exactly the people who I feel are, number one, they're the ones who need this resource. So they go out by themselves. They're technically very good legally, they're very good lawyers, but they need all that back end support, which they used to get in the large law firm, and that's what you guys offer. You offer that support. And when I saw that, I thought, I'd love to partner with you guys, because that's exactly what these guys, the solos, need. And 80%, 85% of all the lawyers in Australia are sole practitioners. So it's a big market, and it helps with the regional areas as well. So a lot of sole practitioners in regional areas who don't really have any support at all. And your sort of app, it's like a go-to. It's like a one-stop shop for everything they need.
Yeah,
that's what I like about it.
No, great. And that's the idea, is what we're trying to make it to go. It shouldn't be as hard to get started. And that's as simple as that. We're trying to make it as easy as, here it is, almost in a box. Okay, you've logged into the app. First thing, what's your technology? And that's what we've got there. What's your technology? Boom. Oh,
Yeah.
we can get that set up. Next thing, okay, have you got your anti-money laundering? Boom, got that set up. Have you got leads? Sweet, we got to deal with leads. And fundamentally, for me, like right down the bottom, okay, you've gone through the list. Next thing is clients, and that's where we slip in and say, here's how you build a client base. And that's like the final piece. But there's so many we've realized, being Courtney, simply because when people are like, I won't do it, I just keep asking them, what's the reason? And then we keep trying to, okay, we got one more thing solved. What's the next? Eventually, all lawyers will leave these traditional firms and they'll topple, and then the new ones will rise. That's my goal. From the solos.
And it's the solo practitioners are the ones who they just provide better service than the larger firms. They're more invested. They're more invested in the client outcome than a larger firm, I think.
Yeah, and anyone I ask, from a CEO of a big company who uses the massive firms to just someone who wants a lawyer just to kind of feel a bit better about whatever's going on in their life, everyone knows the solo lawyer will care a little more because it's personal. But they go, but what if it gets big? And I'm like, well, that's why we come together. And solos sort of somewhat team up, stay independent, but have all the support infrastructure they need.
I thought of it like as a hub and spoke system. So the hub is that's the app. The spokes are the lawyers, and they go and do what they need to do with their technical expertise, but they can come back to the hub when they have either a technical issue that they need to refer to somebody else, or they can come back to the hub for training or more resources or collaboration. That's how I saw what you've set up. That's what it will ultimately become if it's not already.
Yeah, and that's me and Courtney were talking about this the other day because we've had to explain it a few times to get it. And I mean, we've sort of iterated a little bit, but it's been based off, same as you. You suddenly started getting lawyers. Like, we knew our target market was that, but we realized we're trying to become the wholesale entry point to self-employment. So we go, which direction you want to go, we'll just make it easier for you. And effectively, then here's the options. And also, because there's so many new things they need to learn about. So we spend a lot of time meeting with vendors, learning about it, and then going, hey guys, boom, here's a new thing. We've had a look, looks great. They've given us a great deal. Here's a new product if you want it. Here's a quick tutorial that we've done with them. Because that's the other thing. They don't have time to, there's so much information out there. How do they distill it, research it all, know what's good, what's not? So I like that analogy, the spoke.
Yeah, that's how I saw it. When I looked at what you were doing, I thought, okay, so you're the hub, and then the lawyers are the spokes.
Yeah.
So you might have a family lawyer who can refer back to a criminal lawyer, but you're all inside the same. You're all inside the same league.
Now, my last one, purely because you've seen all these technologies come, go, the good ones have stayed, what's happened? Do you have a 3-year prediction? Oh, because I'm not even asking 5-year, 3-year prediction of where AI is going to take the legal industry.
Most definitely. It'll only be the big players who are left. So, and that's one of the reasons why we settled on Microsoft. I looked at a lot of AI vendors, and Microsoft are the only company in the world in this whole space that are funding all their R&D and all their investment out of cash flow, not borrowed money, not private equity, not fundraising. It's coming out of cash flow. So they will get to the other end. Whatever happens, they will be at the other end. So if you base your system on them, you're using 365 and you're using services, you're not going to be caught out later on. We had a situation just recently. A couple of law firms we knew of, they based a bunch of workflows on an AI company, didn't get funding, just disappeared.
Yep.
So all those workflows disappeared as well. So there's that risk as well. You just have to be so go with the big guys like Clio. Clio, 2 million users. So, and again, they're close to funding it out of their own cash flow. So, Microsoft, Clio are two good options.
Yeah. No, I like it. And ironically, use the big guys to take on the big guys yourself as a solo.
No one really saw that Amazon or eBay would survive. They were just
Yep.
one of many, There was a company called pets.com, which was at one point the most valuable company on the planet. Well, that just doesn't exist anymore. So same thing will happen here.
Yep.
But it's the big guys who'll
No.
get on the other side.
Yeah. Great. Well, we'll put your details in the show notes, and obviously the league members will be able to get a hold of you through the app to get that special deal to help them get started. Anything else before we go?
No, I think that's about it. I think thank you very much for having me on the show.
My pleasure. Thank you, Frank. I'm sure we'll talk in the future.